You asked
We're
a
just
question
no.
about that.
You're not part of this conversation. We're
not
gonna
in the
stick to the 101, and please allow me. If you want to talk one at a time, we'll do it. But
I
I'm
don't
talking
want
with
to talk.
Tom.
I'm answering the question that's on the board. I have nothing to do with you
Oh,
guys.
but no, this is gonna be reserved for us, for our conversation.
Okay, but that question is wrong.
Yeah, just go out. Go talk to Aaron.
Alright.
Aaron is a big guy with a big beard.
He took off to help his wife or
Oh,
something.
okay, talk to him when he comes back. Okay, pardon my interruption. No, I agree with what you're saying here, but what I want to still lay out is how the argument works. It's my understanding atheists that I've talked in the past misunderstand.
So, Chris, so you're going to lay out the argument based on
No, I'm not going to lay out the argument again, yet.
But are we talking about just atheist, or are we talking about atheist worldview, or are we talking about just
Christian
a
worldview.
Christian?
No.
Okay.
We're talking about worldviews.
So please tell me before I can't move on to you. Tell me what the atheist worldview is.
Yeah, well, you're the proponent of it, so you're going to go through it. You're going to explain it to us. But here's what.
And you'll be willing to concede to my definition of it.
Now, Alex, you're already asking me about the argument. Let me just finish what I was to say. I have this
It's very
Okay.
interesting.
So the argument, the presuppositional argument works this way. We lay out side by side two different worldviews, two very different worldviews. You would agree that they're different. And what we do is then,
I would not necessarily agree because I don't know what this one is yet.
okay, well, the atheist worldview is the worldview I would say that denies the Christian worldview, that there is not one true living God, that there is, salvation is not only, that we're not all sinners under Adam, and salvation is only Jesus Christ, eternal life is only Jesus Christ, and there will be one day the resurrection of the dead. But those things are certain.
Kind of close.
Those things are certain.
Kind of thing close. The word that is not this word deny. That is not. There simply is not in the world.
Yeah, they reject at least. Can we say they reject?
Whenever someone says they
Don't accept.
Don't accept. Okay.
Oh, reject. Yes. Reject is a good word.
Okay, so let's change deny with
Deny
reject.
is a really strong word.
Yeah, well, because
that's
deny is
saying-
you can deny an absolute.
That's saying the atheist worldview says there is no
Reject.
God.
Sure.
Which is different than
Well,
rejecting
your sign
the
does say
proposition.
that, but it's okay. It says hell does not exist. But perhaps you don't believe in that.
Well,
sign.
that's a different claim than a God.
Denying. It's denying.
But that's a different claim. Hell is a different claim than
Sure,
God.
you're denying things that are crucial to the Christian world. Regardless, that's all. This is already a rabbit trail. So allow me to finish this. So what we do is we set up these two different worldviews, and then we step into one first, laying the other one aside, and we do an internal critique. And then we're gonna put the first one aside, and then we step up in the second worldview, and we do an internal critique. So when we're engaging in the atheistic worldview, we don't consider the Christian worldview. We operate in the atheist worldview.
And what's the purpose of this?
Good question. The purpose is to show that an internal critique of the atheist worldview will show it to be irrational or inconsistent, when an internal critique of the Christian worldview will show it to be very consistent and actually the only possible worldview that makes sense of reality. So this is the error that many times we have in this
That's
conversation.
impressive. Wait, could you? I know it's on here, but you mean to tell me you can show through this simple explanation here how the Christian worldview is the only one?
I can do that. We'll do that when we are stepping into the Christian
Wow,
worldview.
that's going to be fun.
That's exactly the presuppositional argument. That's why it's so powerful.
Oh,
So,
bring it.
and now here's the funny thing. The fun thing is that you can decide which one do we start with. But understand that once we're analyzing the atheistic worldview, we are not operating in a Christian worldview. We just analyze it on the basis of its own claim. And then when we're in a Christian worldview, I have to keep my same standard. We are
I know more about the atheistic worldview, so I'm now.
Then what? Then the Christian worldview?
Yes, at least I know I'm an atheist. And
Every time I see someone
what
cross
I
this stuff,
don't know
I always
is
want to
what the rest of the worldview is. So,
Well, you don't.
so
You
do you want me to?
your own
Or do you want me to put the
I
atheist
made
argument
that
out
up
there?
and practiced it for a while.
So we're going to be arguing here for your worldview, your particular worldview. I don't know if you want to call it atheist worldview. So how do you want to call it? Tommy's
So
worldview.
I don't understand the worldview part. Atheism is simply the response to a proposition.
Yeah.
There's a whole. You have a God here. You have
for all I know,
somebody raised from
baseball
the
team
dead.
actually uses
You
that.
have people
I'm
that rode
mocking
into
what I
town on some
usually
badass,
see.
literally comes in front of everything like that. So there's a lot of things that you
right.
involved in your worldview.
Of course, that also makes me think of
claims
myself.
about morality. There's claims
Absolutely, but you have the same
That's
claim.
what
No.
he did.
No. If you want to argue my naturalism or something else, I'm willing
course,
to
you know,
argue
Madonna
that
also
side.
had those,
So
like,
if you're willing
the
to
cone
argue my
bras.
humanism, I'm willing to argue that.
Yeah.
But arguing about atheism is, I don't
I
understand the
missed
we're
that
doing
one.
here is-
I
yeah,
think
that's-
I'm
that's a
glad
fair
I
question,
missed that
Tommy.
one, but I missed
Do,
that one.
do I believe there's a God? I do not believe it.
This is a fair question. What we're going to be
Absolutely.
doing, what we're going to be doing, we're going to step into your particular
Yeah.
interpretation of the
into
atheist
rap.
worldview. So Tommy's
I
worldview,
actually- no,
and we're going
I
to
just
show.
gave you my
that's
entire
fine.
interpretation.
That's fine. So we're going to step into that interpretation,
let's do it.
that worldview, and we're going to demonstrate that that's actually, like I said, incoherent or
Bring it.
Yeah. And then successfully.
So do it right now. I'm ready for it.
We will.
Okay.
We will. But after we do that, then we're going to step into this worldview, and we're going to show how this is actually consistent.
Okay, yeah, do it. Go.
So you want to begin with the atheist worldview, or you want to begin with the Christian? The atheist worldview? Okay. So you make particular claims all of the time. Like, for example, we can begin with your son was expounding how he believes in evolution. Okay, so he believes evolution is truthful, or in any way, shape, or form that when you make.
Okay, but what does that have to do with atheism?
Well, we're looking at your beliefs.
Okay.
So that's what worldview is basically the set
But
of
see,
your beliefs.
my mind, I'm standing here. I'm being Mr. Atheist in this logical
Would it
argument.
be
There's
easier?
no interruption.
Oh, sorry. May I?
Yeah, go ahead.
It'll help. If you remove atheist
Okay.
and replace it with, say, naturalism,
Okay, yeah,
or-
sure. That's actually better.
That would make an easier.
Well, that's
time
better
for the
because
two
that's
of you, I
more
think.
consistent with his worldview. Because atheists can be very comprehensive. So naturalistic atheism, would that be fair?
Or realism. What
Yeah,
would you want to use? Say something that's indicative of your.
I'll go with naturalism,
Naturalism?
and physics.
And physics, okay. That's fine. We'll keep this.
So all my, as me representing the atheist in your box,
Yeah.
I
No,
will
you're presenting
do my
yourself.
best to be. Well, I thought we were
Because
talking about a whole worldview, and a
We
worldview is bigger
are.
than me.
We are.
But
But
I'll stick with the nature.
we are, but we are addressing here you and how you, the way you live your life, are inconsistent.
Okay.
Okay, because
So please
I
show me
don't know
how,
if-
as a naturalist, I am inconsistent.
Okay, so what we usually begin with is by asking you if you believe in truth. If
Wait a second. This argument doesn't start with a premise. It starts with a question.
well,
What kind of
well,
argument is
the
that?
premise is that you believe in truth. That you believe somehow in truth because you make truth claims all the time.
Big T or little T?
What's the difference?
Huge.
Just explain
One.
it to me.
Okay. Big T truth is on your side.
Okay.
Big T. So,
And
fat
remember,
T.
we're
And-
laying aside now this
And
world.
this is my world of T's. I can have one that's not a big, but they're all small T's.
What is the difference between
Okay.
a big and a small T? And I like the camera.
Okay.
I'm a camera guy.
Here, let me bring this
No, I'm just kidding.
somewhere where.
So the
So this looks around.
without trying to make a straw man, I'm checking out an assumption here. You guys claim to have truth of the universe
Yeah.
through your teachings.
Well, through the revelation of God.
Yes, and some, but you're laying some kind of claim to big
Absolutely.
God, never
Yeah,
ever
absolutely.
changing.
An
The
absolute
ultimate,
truth.
the ultimate
Or
truth.
absolute
You
truth.
claim that thing exists.
Absolutely.
I don't.
So okay, that's
That's part of my
that's fine.
naturalism worldview.
That's fine. When you say, I don't claim absolute truth, that itself is a self-defeating argument. Because when you say, I don't claim
It's a
absolute
revelation. I just revealed to you something like your God
Sure,
reveals
but-
things to you. I just treated you like your God, and I revealed something to you.
No, but what you're saying is that you're basically saying, I absolutely believe there is no absolute truth. So what you're saying,
No, I didn't say that.
well, you said that
I talked about, I was asking an assumption, is that your
That is correct.
representation of capital T?
that's correct.
I simply said, I don't have that.
Okay, but when you say that, I don't have that, that's an absolute statement. You're saying that you
Oh, okay.
absolutely don't have that, and that itself is self-defeating because you
Okay.
have that statement. You
I have
just
a
made
high
it.
degree of confidence that I do
Okay.
not have that. But I am
So you
here,
could be
excuse
wrong.
me, but I am here
Then
to
you gotta stick with
I'm here to have you rub my nose in it.
Okay.
Because if you can show me where
That's what we're
my
doing.
my simple
And that's exactly
reporting
what we're
of
doing.
my experience to you is in error, I would have to challenge my entire
And
concept
that's
of
exactly what
reality.
we're trying to do here.